Hi everyone, welcome to the Witching Week. Today is episode number 78. Today we're going to be looking at the Dunmow Flitch Trials. We're going to be looking at gold prospecting and some of the magical correspondences associated with gold, and amongst some other topics I'm going to be giving you the visiting details for Stonehenge for the summer solstice. So grab a cup of tea, put some incense on, get comfy, and we'll explore the Witching Week. Hi everybody, welcome back. Thank you for being here, thank you for watching. I'm Wren, I'm the Cemetery Witch, and if you've never watched an episode of the Witching Week before, we get together on a Friday and we have a cup of tea or something else if you prefer, and a bit of a chinwag about all sorts of things, pagan and otherwise. How are you doing? It's Friday again. It seems like it was 2 minutes since I did the last Witching Week. This week has been full on. Now that I've got my own business and the Cemetery Witch is more than just me posting educational content, it's flat out like every second of every day. So yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it today, but it's good to be here and have a cup of tea with you guys. How are you doing? What's your week been like? I would love to hear. So today I'm still on the blackcurrant and blueberry teas by Twining. I would really like to drink my tea today during this episode, but it's tricky, isn't it? Like I said last week with me doing the talking, but this is the first moment I have had all week to sit down and just go, I mean, I've been sitting down a week, but yeah, my brain has been busy, so it will be interesting to see how I'm doing by the end of this video. Last week I had trouble talking, that's for sure. So as for incense, I am burning some very stinky Dane Owl Oud. I absolutely love this one, as you guys know. Highly recommended from me. Find this online and buy it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very strong, very pungent. It will make your whole house smell for days, but that's why I love it. It's so nice. It's so nice. So yeah, Friday, the sun is actually out, which is amazing because we've had a very cold and wet week, except for Sunday, which I shall tell you all about. Lovely, actually, let's pop it here. So on Sunday, my husband and I went to the Rutland agricultural show, so it's not far from our house, the showground. We actually walked there on foot and we had a great time. I knew the weather was going to be nice. It'd been forecast for about 21 degrees, clear skies, sunshine, and in the week running up to that it'd been absolutely awful, and it's been absolutely awful since. We did actually, rather stupidly, although you can never tell until it's happened, we did get burnt, and so the next day it was absolutely freezing in our house, and there we are in bed absolutely freezing, but like not really able to snuggle down under the covers because we were burnt. My arms were so painful. I know that's really silly. I just had no idea it was happening, and we just had no idea the weather was going to be that good because we got there early. So yeah, it was a lovely day out. Obviously it's an agricultural show, so there's a bit of an undercurrent there, a few things about that I don't like. However, there is lots to see there. I love seeing all the animals, and there's also a really good motorbike display, and they have, I want to say Australian, but now I'm thinking maybe he's from New Zealand as he talks about sheep, but I appreciate that's not good. I do know the difference between the accent, but thinking about it, I think he is Australian, but anyway, there's a really funny guy that goes every single year, and he has a sheepdog, so he does a sheepdog display and he shows how he shears sheep, and he talks about his different sheep, and he has all these different types and they dance and stuff, and he's a really lovely funny guy. He's always a pleasure to watch. So yeah, we look forward to that every year. I was on the lookout for some magical items actually. I wanted to get a horseshoe and I wanted to see if I could find any more horse brasses, but weirdly I didn't seem to find any. They had lots of wooden things, they had all sorts of stalls, but we had a really great time in the sun. I really like watching the quadrille riding. So this is like horse riding, and I think it's based on old cavalry formations and things like that. They do it to music. So this year they have these red jackets. Really, they should have been pink because the theme was Greece, but they were brilliant. Really enjoy watching them. And I did meet Arnold the ferret, who I had a cuddle with, and I cuddled a white one whose name I didn't know. And they just ferrets remind me of my godmother, who had a couple of ferrets when I was little. I think she'd found them and they'd clearly escaped from somewhere else, and they were looking after these ferrets, and then eventually, even though they were quite sort of well looked after and they had a special enclosure, they escaped from them, my godmother and her partner. So yeah, very difficult to take care of in that respect, but so lovely, very cuddly, very wriggly. Yeah, I put a picture over in my Patreon and sort of briefly brought up the magical correspondences of ferrets. I imagine, yeah, quite good for getting out of situations. If you need that kind of magic, then yeah, call upon the energy of ferret. I'm sure he will help you. So yeah, absolutely fantastic day out. I've been feeling it ever since. Got to that age. So I've been watching a little bit of TV this week, not much. I only get about half an hour a day once I've done everything I need to do, and at the moment I'm just sort of sitting down and zoning out to Aussie Gold Hunters. So there's a TV channel that we've got on our Freeview. It's called Blaze. Well, actually no, I don't think it is on Blaze. It's on one of those sorts of channels anyway. And yeah, it's all about gold prospecting, which they are doing mainly by hand with good old-fashioned metal detectors. And there's just something about it. I've spoken about this before on the Witching Week, I think. When I was about 18, I was a member of a book club and I had this book, and do you know what? I have searched and I can't find this book. I don't think it's in print anymore. And I always thought it was called Gold, just gold, but I can't find it. But it was about one guy's obsession and catching the gold hunting bug, and it was an absolutely excellent book, really provocative, really kind of planted a bit of a seed in me, and ever since I've been a little bit obsessed with gold hunting programs, opal hunting programs. It's the same with me with like ocean documentaries, anything to do with fish, octopuses, anything at all under the water, the sea in particular. And it's the same with this gold hunting. And I do feel really uncomfortable, obviously, when they're taking massive excavators and they're like ripping through the earth. I don't like that, but the sort of like one-on-one connection with the earth, when you see a single person with a metal detector just scanning over the earth with a little trowel, not really causing any damage on that red earth of sort of mainly, I think, Western Australia. This is where Aussie Gold Hunters are set, Western Australia, out in the bush. And there is something about that is just really calls to me. It's got a real strong draw, and it's not even the gold, it's not the gold, it's the hunt, it's the excitement, it's the journey, it's the victories and the failures. It's something really special about it. I do have familial ties to Australia. My mum and dad seriously looked at emigrating there. That was the other place. We nearly moved to Cornwall as kids, but we nearly emigrated to Australia. My dad got as far as going to Australia House in London and doing all the paperwork, and then for whatever reason they decided not to do that. I really wish they had. I would have really loved to have grown up in Australia. And those that are close to me, my friends and my cousin and those that have known me from a young woman will remember my string of Aussie boyfriends. Not planned, just the way it happened, but I did have a real thing for Australian guys when I was younger. So yeah, I've been enjoying that this week at the end of the day. Gold, when you think about it, it's like the ultimate magical thing, isn't it? When you think about, you know, hundreds of years ago, when you think about alchemists trying to turn lead into gold, in occult books you will find reference to the 7 noble metals of the ancients, or the 7 metals of antiquity, gold being one of them, but things like silver, lead, tin, copper, iron and mercury is the other one, and gold itself. So they spent a lot of time trying to turn these metals, except for the gold, into gold. And gold was used a lot in magical rituals. So if you had gold and you turned it into an amulet, that was seen as particularly protective. And these golden amulets were seen as particularly protective for children against things like any harm, curses, and just the evil eye in general. So associated with the sun, obviously, because we associate the colour, and very much a masculine energy. So gold has been found in virtually every culture, and in virtually every culture as well, it has this association with wealth and status. So in terms of magical correspondences, we'll have a think about gold. When you think of gold, what does it bring up for you? So when I think of gold, I think of luxury, I think of success, I think of influence, I think of wealth, obviously, and abundance and prosperity. We have protection and healing as well. And if we think about the sun, we have the energies of vitality, energy, just energy in itself, power perhaps, ambition, achievement and success. So yeah, literally anything you can think of to do with gold would be, I would say, a common magical correspondence. It has that energy about it, doesn't it, gold? We know what gold means in our culture. We know what it stands for. So how do we use gold in spells? I've been asked that before, because obviously not everybody has gold lying about, but think about it as a colour. So we can use gold paper, we can use a gold pen, there's gold ribbons, buttons, thread, you know, go to any sort of like haberdashery or stationers and you will find things that are gold coloured. Obviously you can use actual gold, so if you've got any gold coins, or you know, if you're lucky enough to have any gold bars lying around, stranger things have happened. And use the word gold. When I was writing this list and thinking about preparing for this video, why not use the word gold? A word is a symbol, isn't it? It represents something, it represents a concept. So use words, they're very, very powerful. And then you can use actual gold jewellery as well. So perhaps you could use a necklace, you could team that as well with a symbol. So for example, the Nazar, so a gold necklace with the Nazar, very, very powerful at repelling the evil eye. You might have some special gold earrings or a necklace, and if you're a guy, maybe you can use some cufflinks. There's lots of ways that we can integrate gold into our magic. So if you want to learn more about magic, over on Patreon this month we are having a magic month. So as you know, if you've been watching these videos, it's fairy month in July, but June is all about magic. So I am teaching the mechanics of magic. We're looking at the levels of reality. So these are levels of reality that are found in our world, and we're learning how we use those to create successful magic that communicates across these 4 levels. We're looking at some of the phrases and some of the concepts within magic that get confused by people. So for example, we look at the threefold law and the boomerang effect and what they actually are and how they are often confused with each other. And we look at the Wiccan Rede. So 8 words the Wiccan Rede fulfill, and it harm none, do what you will. Now that doesn't mean what it sounds like. It's a very ambiguous phrase, so I explain that, we go through it, and we look at the ethics of spell casting as well. So lots going on this month over on Patreon. If you would like to understand how magic works, and you would like to understand how to design a spell so that it works perfectly and all levels communicate with each other so that you can manifest what it is you're trying to achieve, then go and check my Patreon out. The lowest level starts at £5 or $7, so it's really, really affordable. I'm all about, as you guys know, making witchcraft accessible, and, you know, in terms of like training and learning, affordable. I think that sometimes it's a bit exclusive, and I think really witchcraft is there for anyone who is serious about it and wants to learn, and I like to take the sensationalism out of it and make it practical. So it would be lovely if you wanted to join our team, as I call it, over on Patreon. Just search for The Cemetery Witch. So talking of witches, there is a famous witch in Russia. She is known for casting spells for bolstering and boosting a certain person, the president, his fame. I'm not going to use his name because I really don't want this video to be taken down, or, well, it won't get taken down, but like demonetized. So I'm not going to mention the P word. Plus I don't really want to use his name, but her name is Alona Pollen. And she has apparently, you can never quite can tell with Russia, she's been arrested and detained on suspicion of extremism and fraud, insulting religious feelings, and basically calling for violence against the Russian Orthodox Church. So it just shows you really that, you know, you can never be quite safe over there, because she's very, very pro him. And yet she has been arrested and detained. She actually leads an organisation called the Empire of the Strongest Witches, which was founded in 2015. And like most other witches, she offers sort of all the regular things. She offers magic courses. She offers like witchcraft supplies, which is stuff like candles, you know, your basic cupboard supplies, but also apparently little statues of deities and masks and things like that, witch bottles. So yeah, magical supplies. She apparently created a circle of power with some other witches to imbue the president with mystical powers. So I think this is quite sad really in a way, because obviously she's quite glamorous. She's going to appeal to, I would think, young people and witches, but her messages aren't good. But I mean, we could argue, like, I don't live there, I don't know what it's like to live there, but obviously I recognise that there's a lot of propaganda, you're not getting the whole story, and it's a shame really if she's been using her craft to, yeah, she's been using it to persuade people that what's happening in the world right now is, you know, correct. She is a supporter of this man. So, but it just shows you that, you know, you can be the biggest supporter. I think she's sort of quite famous. I think she's appeared on TV and stuff. I think, you know, she's sort of, I'm trying to think of somebody who is the equivalent. I guess one of our famous witches that we do have is Imbal, friend of mine. She's often on things like Big Brother and stuff like that, but I don't want to make a direct comparison because obviously Imbal doesn't support the things that are going on in the world. But yeah, she's a famous witch basically is what I'm trying to say. She's a famous witch who is well known, and it's just a bit sad really to see that, well, not necessarily to see that she's been locked up, although obviously that's sad as well, but to see that she's not using the craft for, you know, good. In her mind, I'm sure she does think she's using it for good. But yeah, interesting story that I stumbled across this week. So yeah, I'm sure if you search her name, you will be able to come up with a bit more information. So moving from one kind of crazy place to the next, we're going to go over to Dunmow now, or Great Dunmow as it's called, in Essex. So I stumbled across a custom this week in Dunmow that apparently has been going for over 900 years, at least 900 years. So it's known as the Dunmow Flitch Trials. And basically Great Dunmow, I don't know if you've ever been, but it's a very, very small market town. It's like some of the market towns you get where often really they've got the feeling of village about them, and it's out in the Essex countryside, and here they have the Dunmow Flitch Trials. So they're coming up on the 13th of July this year. You're able to enter. I think entry might be a bit late now because it's on the 13th of July, but you're certainly able to go and watch. And as far as they know, the Dunmow Flitch Trials is a unique custom not found anywhere else. So basically, couples will go in front of a judge and they try to satisfy the judge that for the last year and a day of their marriage, they have not wished themselves to be unmarried. So you have to prove, well, first you have to prove that you've been legally married for a year and a day. And then you have to prove somehow, and I don't actually know, I've never been, never seen, never watched, never been witness to these trials, but somehow you have to satisfy the judge that you are, you've never wished yourself to be unmarried. And then if you win a flitch of bacon. Now we know that this has been going on for a very, very long time. The trials are actually mentioned in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, which obviously dates back to the 14th century, and there's a whole website dedicated to this, so I will put the information in the text below. But as far as we know, or we think, the custom probably dates back to about 1104. So there was a lord and lady of a manor, and they dressed up as humble folk, and they wanted to seek a blessing from the nearby priory upon their marriage. And the prior was really, really impressed at their love and their dedication. So much so that even though they were lord and lady of the manor and, you know, didn't need to be awarded anything because they had plenty of money, he awarded them a flitch of bacon. And he decided that really any couple that showed this amount of dedication to their relationship should really be awarded a flitch of bacon. And so we believe that this custom was born, and it really gained notoriety in the 14th century. Although the first recorded winner of the flitch was recorded in 1445. And we know that in 1751, for example, the Shakeshafts of Wethersfield won the flitch. So Wethersfield, again, that's really, really out in the sort of Essex / Suffolk sort of borderish sort of countryside. I've been to Wethersfield and there is not a lot there. It's absolutely beautiful. But anyway, we know that a couple from Wethersfield won in 1751, and then it went quiet for a while. And then we believe that the Dunmow Flitch Trials were resurrected around 1855 again. So they were revived. I would argue that it's probably a bigger honour and a bigger achievement to be able to prove that in 10 years you've not wanted to wish yourself unmarried. I think a year and a day in, I think you're still in the honeymoon period, aren't you? Very much so. You're in the honeymoon period. And although I think it's probably unusual to get to 10 years and probably, you know, to get to 10 years and not have had a moment where you've wished yourself unmarried is probably quite unusual. I think that is more deserving of the flitch, to be honest. Again, I quite don't know how you prove this to the judge. I guess you have to persuade him. I guess you have to come up with stories and you have to, you know, embellish and you have to lay it on thick, I guess. I don't know. I would love to actually go to this. I'm actually considering it. I think it's something that me and my husband should go to. I think you have to buy tickets to go. When you go on the Dunmow Flitch Trials page, there is something that flashes up with buy tickets. I didn't click on the link, so I don't know if it was for that or for some other local event, but certainly you can go along and watch. So I think that would be really, really amusing. So talking of events, I thought I would give you guys the rundown of what's going on at Stonehenge. They don't usually put the details up on the website until a couple of weeks before, and we have got a couple of weeks to go now. So They will be celebrating the evening of the summer solstice, which is on the 20th of June, into the morning of Friday the 21st to see the sunrise. So the point of solstice is at 21:50 hours on the 20th, so that's a Thursday, so that's what, 10 to 10 at night. That is the moment of solstice, and they will be streaming it as per usual on the English Heritage YouTube website. So they have got a link to the English Heritage channel. Just search English Heritage on YouTube, it will come up, it will be easy enough to find. And it's quite nice, the live stream. They usually have some beautiful music playing, and you can see like everyone walking around. They they flick position with the cameras. Sometimes they'll put the background noise in, and they'll just stream this all night. So if you can't be there for sunrise, then you will be able to watch it online, and sometimes it's quite nice. They're actually operating a pre-booking system for the first time ever this year, which is for the car park. However, they have said that parking will be available on the night until the car park is full. So I don't quite know what's going on there. I don't know if they've got two car parks and they're going to let one just fill up and then the other one they've got spaces for. I think they're trying to reduce the traffic in the area. This is the first time that they've had this pre-booking system, so I can't tell you more about that because I've never used it. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't think now it would be safe to just turn up on the night and see and be admitted. I think they are looking to manage this. Well, I mean, I want to say better, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out better for people or worse. I think maybe they're going to have a small car park that when that is full, then that's full, done. And then the regular parking for Stonehenge, you have to book for. So therefore, if you turn up on the night but I don't see, many people aren't going to know this. Many people aren't going to know about this. So yeah, I don't quite know exactly what is happening, but go on the website, have a look, and if you want to go along, I would suggest that you book. So the car park opens at 7 o'clock on the evening of the 20th, and access to the monument is at the same time. So as soon as you're there, you can go to the monument. Now they say it's a 25 to 30 minute walk. I've only done it once since they've got this new visitor centre. I used to go sort of repeatedly many years ago, but it was a completely different setup. I don't remember it being a 25-minute walk. I think they're over egging it there, maybe so that it's, rather than say it's a 10-minute walk and then you find out it's a 30-minute walk. I don't remember it being 25 to 30 minutes, but maybe that's in relation to the car park this year. They do have shuttle buses. I don't know, again, I don't know whether they're going to be on all night or whether it's like you need to get there at 7 and then get one of the available buses. I don't know. If you have access issues, so if you're a disabled visitor, it would be a really, really good idea for you to contact them or to go on the website and have a good read. I'm just giving you some initial information to help you consider this for your summer solstice celebrations. So the sunset happens at 21:26 hours. Sunrise is at 4:52 on the 21st, and the last admission is at 6 o'clock in the morning or when they are full. So I anticipate they're going to be full way before 6 o'clock, because if people are going and they're going to commit to it and they're going to do it, I can guarantee they'll be there by then. I guess this is perhaps if you've booked and you're local and you don't want to be there all night, I don't know, but the monument field closes at 8 o'clock, so you will not be able to get in there at 8 o'clock. You will not be able to get in the car park at 6 o'clock, you need to be there before, and then the car park vacating that, so the end of the event, when everyone needs to be gone, is 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the 21st, Friday the 21st. So yeah, details are up, all the information is up, and also their customer service line is up. I imagine, I don't know, because it's a Thursday night into Friday night, so some people will still be working. It's when it falls on a Friday night into Saturday or a Saturday night into Sunday that numbers are huge generally. I went there one summer solstice, probably about 15 years ago now, and it was a Saturday night, so it meant people had time to travel. They weren't at work, they didn't need to take time off, and there was upward of 90,000 people there. So absolutely hideous. The first time I'd ever seen a drone as well. The police were flying their drones over us to see what we were doing. I was getting some lip balm out of my bag, and because I was sort of shuffling about my bag looking for something, an officer had obviously spotted me, or they'd spotted me from above. Anyway, this drone came over and was just kind of like floating above me and filming me. It was really weird. First time I'd ever seen a drone. Hopefully there'll be no drones there, but I can't guarantee that. Anyway, I think it's probably time to do some cards. I've done a video on Patreon because we're talking about magic this month, where I just review these books and I say how I find them useful for magic, what I've gained from them, what I've learned from them and stuff, so you might want to check that out. Right, time to do some cards. Feels like this hasn't been such a long video this week. I try not to make them too long, but sometimes there's just so much to say and sometimes I waffle. So what are you all up to this weekend? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're up to. Okay, so I went for 4 cards today. We have the Chariot, we have the Page of Swords, we have Strength, and we have the 2 of Cups. So interesting cards this week, very interesting selection there. Don't think we've seen Strength since maybe we've seen Strength once, but I don't think we've seen the 2 of Cups at all, possibly. So I think, yeah, this is coming up a lot for a lot of people at the moment. Where I've been watching other tarot pages on Instagram and watching videos and stuff like that, there is this idea that at the moment the astrology certainly is taking everybody on a bit of a wild ride through life. I don't know if you're feeling like that. I certainly am. There's a lot going on here, and it can really feel, you know, while you're on that chariot of life, it can really feel like you're swerving from one thing to another. You know, you don't feel like you're very steady on the path, and sometimes it causes you to wonder if you're, you know, on the right path at all. You know, the ups and downs, the highs and the lows are really quite extreme. You know, one minute you're going this way and the next minute you're being pulled that way, but you remain on the chariot and you do remain on the path, and the path does curve, the path does twist and turn and pull us in all sorts of directions. Ultimately, the chariot does take us to our destiny. So while things are, you know, a bit turbulent, it's important to remember that whenever you are trying to work your way through life, sometimes it really helps to have a bit of a plan, and we've been talking about this quite a bit recently. You know, writing things down, coming up with pros and cons, and really just trying to sensibly work your way through things if things are tumultuous. And I think it's really, really important to remember to call on your inner strength. We all have it. We all have that animal power. We all have that sort of raw strength that quite often we don't remember we have until we are called to sort of call upon it, and it kind of comes up from nowhere, and it's raw and it's wild and it's fierce. You know, we can rely on ourselves. Ultimately, we can dig deep, we can pull upon those resources of strength and determination. And I think where is it? Yeah, this card, Strength, that often to me, when I think about that, I think about that determination that we all do have. We might not think we're very strong, but we really are. So it's time to call upon that this week, and also to maybe call upon the help of someone that you really respect, that you've got a meeting of minds with, someone that's kind of on your level, someone that you can trust in and rely on. I definitely think those are going to be the key points for moving through the energy of this week. It's been a really unsettled month all round. If we look at the weather that we've had here, certainly in the UK, it's been very strange. It's been like April weather, like I said last week. It's been like that unsettled weather, and I think the weather's a good metaphor at the moment for where many of us are. Things are very topsy-turvy, very up and down, very sort of unstable at the moment, and so we have to draw upon all the skills that we have, and we have to draw upon all the opportunities that we have to just make it through. So yeah, planning, it's a continuation from the last week and the week before. That very much sort of planning energy, laying it all out, but also calling upon your strength and your determination that's actually within you. You know, we're all tough as old boots when it comes to it. When we really have to put one foot in front of the other and get our heads down and grit our teeth, we can all do that. But call upon the help of another, someone that you see eye to eye with, someone that's going to be there for you as an ally, and get them to help you through. And yeah, whatever turbulence, whatever twists and turns that the path is going to sort of take you on in the coming weeks, it will be okay. I very much like tarot for being positive, actually. I think you've probably gathered that in a lot of my messages. I know that tarot can be hard-hitting and can be a lot more honest in some ways than oracle, but yeah, I think there's always a positive, isn't there? There's always a silver cloud, a silver lining to every cloud. So on that note, it's time to finish up for this week. It's been lovely chatting with you. It's been lovely to have a cup of tea, which, because I think I've not done such a long video, is still slightly warm. So I'm going to go and drink this and take a moment to breathe. You do the same. Find a moment in your day if you can, or even just one moment in your week to just stop and go, ah. And I'll see you next week again on Friday. So I'm sending you lots of love and blessings. Till then, have a wonderful witching week. Love and blessings. Bye.